Welcome to the Death Battle Cast. Holy shit, we got a special episode today. All right, let's get to it. Hey, you know me. I'm Ben, voice of Wiz. You know that guy. That's Chad, voice of Boomstick. You know that other guy in the middle who always starts these shows with stupid faces. It's Liam.
But he's got a nice new haircut.
Thank you, by the way, Chad, for complimenting my haircut.
Thank
you.
But we are joined by two very special guests. The people behind some of the music that you were just listening to for Black Adam Apocalypse. It's Omega Sparks and SWATs.
Woo!
Hey guys.
Hey,
it's so good to have you guys here.
Dude, that track just got me so amped.
Yeah, I know, right? Does. Like, I'm ready for this community death battle now. Real quick, because I don't believe we've ever had you guys on the show before. Let the good people watching know who you are, what you do.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm Omega Sparks. I like to rap about video game and anime characters and rap battle my boy SWATs, which is my rap partner. We have a band called Game Breaks, and we go out and rock faces off and have fun and just bringing hip hop and lyricism into nerdcore and an appreciation of the comic books and video games we grew up with.
That's right. And I'm SWATs. It's really cool to be here. We've been a fan of the show and fans of the show for a very long time. So we also did the Miles Morales versus Static What's Up Danger track. So had a lot of fun with that one and a whole bunch of fun with this Black Adam versus Apocalypse. So thanks for having us. And we hope to continue our rapping for you guys in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we first met you, Sparks, I believe, through TJ Combo versus Balrog, right? Or after that? Was that after that? It was after that.
I think so.
Torian found you through that, I think.
Right. I don't know if Ryu versus Jin or TJ Combo versus Balrog was first or second, but those were the first times I got a chance to knock off a checklist on my bucket list. And first of all, it is surreal loving the show and then getting an opportunity to write some music for the show. Like I've been a huge fan of Death Battle for years, and just getting amped and being in the comment section, like, yeah, he should have won, or he should have lost. This is an outrage.
These guys are fucking biased.
And then we did Balrog versus TJ Combo, and Back to Rise is just such an awesome track.
Thank you.
That you were part of. And we were all like, yeah, we've got like, that was, I think that was right before we started doing our own original music.
Well, I think Torian animated to it. I think he animated to it, and it was like, dude, we got to get this track, because also, like, Torian was a big fan of you, Sparks. He's like, dude, I always wanted to like work with Omega Sparks, and he's like, wouldn't it be cool if we could actually like make this work? And then somehow we did.
Yep. And
then we all were just like, oh my god, hell yeah, dude! When it makes sense to have like lyrics in a fight and like, get a good rap track. Oh my god, we gotta work with them some more. So
you brought on SWATs, and like, it's been awesome working with you guys ever since. Holy crap. Yeah, this is great. Okay, so
we have a special
I'm very
episode,
curious to see how this episode of Death Battle Cast is going to go. So first things first, I do want to mention that we will have a sneak peek for the upcoming death battle of Trunks versus Silver later on in today's cast. So stay tuned for that. But this cast is going to be a little different than usual, because typically what happens whenever we bring a guest on, or two guests, is some of us death battle guys get into some stupid arguments and the guest about which character would win in a fight, and the guests get to vote on who should win. Today, it's the opposite. Sparks and SWATs want to go to town on each other.
So I reached out to Sparks and SWATs and was like, yeah, we'd love to have you on the episode, like an episode. Like, here's how it works. Like, I gave them options, right? Like, which we always do with the guests, is just like, you can just be here to like judge and hang out and have fun. I was like, but if you want to rep a character, you can. And then they let me know that they apparently have been arguing about matchups since childhood. And I was like, I'm just gonna throw this out here. Like, if you want, like, if you've got a debate that you guys have been having for a long time, and you want to come up on the show, and both of you represent a character, and and the audience will try and settle the debate for you guys, we could do that. And they were like, hell yeah! So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a 22, 23 year friendship. And before we were ever rapping about our favorite video game characters, we were, playing these games and debating on who's the best, who's the strongest character, who has the best moves, which moves cancel each other out, stuff like that. And then we started, Game Breaks, the video game band. And so, yeah, this is like childhood, college, teenage stuff. And I love it. Like, that's my boy. I get the honor of rap battling, one of my best friends, and I mostly win all the time.
It's funny. Like, this guy, man, you'll see, man. He'll throw in these jabs that are just hilarious. But anyhow, I mean, that's literally how we met. I'm sitting here playing my Dreamcast, which was the first video game system I bought for myself with my own money. And he just walks past my dorm. I'm playing King of Fighters 98. You know what I mean? And he just walks right in. And he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey, come on in." And like that's it. It all kind of started right there. And I've been beating him ever since.
I also think that this is an interesting matchup too, because it's one that we've kind of done before on the show. We did Ken versus Terry like way back in like season 3, but our research, as the characters progress over time, and as we find new evidence of stuff, like the result is not always static. So we had Terry win back in season 3, but by no means does that mean that we would still do that today. It totally depends. So I'm interested to see
evolved as well.
And it's not Terry. So
we are doing Ken Masters of Street Fighter versus Rock Howard of Fatal Fury. So here's how this is gonna work. Sparks is repping Ken, not rapping.
Let's get that expectation clear. Are they gonna rap? Are they gonna rap? Are they gonna rap?
If you want to do a rap battle off the cuff, sure. And then SWATs will be representing Rock. So they are gonna have the rest of the hour to basically. But there's he came dressed for the occasion. I love it. Who should win in a fight, and it will be up to the jury to vote at the end of the show who wins. The jury will consist of, in this case, 4 seats. It's the 3 of us, me, Liam, and Chad, as well as all of you watching this live. If you are not watching this live, we do this show live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central, and you can join in the chat. If you are a member, I'm seeing a bunch of silver badges go up the chat screen right now, which is fantastic. Love to see that. Thank you all for being members and supporting the Death Battle channel. All right, so we can get this started with if you want, we can keep this loose. A 60-second opening statement from each of you. No interruptions, not yet. We can come to blows later on, but for this first opening statement, it's just all you. So who wants to go first?
Okay.
Go ahead, Sparks. Go ahead.
Sparks, go first. This has been volunteered by SWATs.
Ken Masters versus Rock Howard is a battle of technique against flash. Ken Masters, the OG, top American martial art champion, trained alongside Ryu. Basically 1B, Ryu and Ken, 1A and 1B, had a legendary sensei, studied the best, studied from the best. He has a little bit of flash, himself, but he has the technique to back it up. And his skills have just gotten better and better and better over the years while still keeping his flash. And so Rock Howard really, Rock Howard may have a little edge in flashiness, but you're dealing with the OG martial art master, Ken Masters. He's the best. He wins this battle.
He has master in his name. I just think that's also worth considering. He has master.
He is about to meet his master. For sure.
Oh,
right.
Oh,
No
shit. All
slots.
right.
60 seconds uninterrupted. Go for it.
Let's go. So Rock Howard is an incredibly talented and powerful fighter. Not only does he have 10 years of grueling fighting experience being trained by one of the most powerful fighters in the world, Terry Bogard, he trains seriously. So he's got flash, but he also is very serious and pushes to overcome his limits. Not only that, this guy is a prodigy. Ken Masters can't say that. He's a prodigy. He's capable of doing things that people his age are not supposed to do. He's the better man because he has answers for every move that Ken Masters has in his arsenal. He's hungrier, he's more tenacious, he's more versatile. You don't run out of options with Rock Howard. Ken Masters lacks focus. He's only in it for the fun. Rock Howard is in it for the fun. He'd love to smash your face in, sure. But he's also very technically sound, very focused, and very driven. Rock Howard is the one to meet this match, period.
Oh, with 5 seconds left.
Damn.
5 seconds.
I
You
love
guys
describing
came
fighters
ready
as
for this.
hungry. It's especially appropriate considering, the hungry wolves of King of Fighters.
That's right.
Is it true that Rock defeated Terry as a child? Is that accurate?
So there are a lot of things with the lore that you can kind of pull around. The thing about what happened with Terry and Rock is Terry defeated Geese. Then he took in Rock after Rock had already approached Geese. Rock did not defeat Terry, but he was taken in when he was 7 years old, and he's been training ever since. So he's been training this whole time. People try to come in and say, well, he's lacking the skill, he's lacking that. No, he is not. One, he's so skilled because he's been training this whole time, not fighting against like things that don't punch back, punching bags and things like that, fighting against some of the best fighters, Terry Bogard, Andy Bogard, Joe Higashi, people like that, Kim Kapwan, and just growing his talent. In his first tournament, he was already at Terry level or beyond.
His
So
only tournament.
hang on. I am a lot less familiar with Fatal Fury than Street Fighter. I think, generally speaking, most people have a okay understanding of Ken. Right? He's blonde Ryu. He throws Hadoukens. He has the fire Shoryuken.
Yeah.
But Rock is Geese's son. Is that right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Rock is
So
his-
what does
and
Rock
his
do?
His moves list is kind of like a mix of Geese and Terry. He's like a Geese plus Terry character, essentially.
Exactly.
So he's like
Exactly.
if
a little bit of
Geese
Andy.
and Terry had a kid, it's Rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. So you have to think about it as Geese plus Terry, right? So the cool thing about Rock, and one of the reasons why he's like top in this, is because he was never taught Geese's moves. Geese has some of the hardest moves to execute, period. But he learned that by himself. Terry taught him. He already would have been like one of the baddest dudes if he just took on Terry's tutelage. But he also learned Geese's moves by instinct because he's this prodigy. So now he can do these moves too, and people are all over his universe being like, what is this kid? Who is he? He's not normal, guys. He is not normal.
But he's still a kid.
But he's still a kid.
Was that
Wait,
still
It's
a
true.
kid?
Ken is older and has more experience.
It's true. Ken has a lot of
that's-
experience.
Yeah.
Rock is
He has
a
experience.
30-year-old, 17-year-old. In Fatal
Is
Fury,
it-
they don't
okay.
age.
So with Death Battle, like it's about
Yeah.
going to the death. Is it at all disadvantageous to Terry or to Ken that Goken specifically taught Ken and Ryu a non-lethal variant of the Onsetsuken? Not that you can't use it to kill, you obviously can, but is that like an edge that Rock has? Like, is his martial art more geared
No.
towards killing your opponent?
who
I
is
would say-
deadlier?
Right. Well,
Yeah, who's deadlier?
One thing that SNK, which produced Fatal Fury and everything, one thing they set up, Violent Ken. So if Ken gets it, which is like a variation of Evil Ryu. So
Yeah.
Violent Ken was in SVC Chaos, if I'm not mistaken, as a bonus character. And so, so I don't know if it's canon or not, but if he's pushed go ahead.
Yeah,
No, that's
come
fine.
on.
Use whatever you got.
First off, this is we can talk about Violent Ken all you want, but that
Yes.
is not even on his own power. That's after he got like rewired mentally and had implants put in and people are messing with his brain, namely M. Bison, etc. It's not something that he can do on his own. It's not something that he does on his own power. And even if he does, fine, who cares? Rock Howard can beef up too. Not that he even needs to. Rock Howard can install and take. He can overpower Ken move for move. He's got answers for anything that Ken has. Evil Ken, wild Ken, whatever Ken, it doesn't matter. He's got the answer.
Yeah.
Violent Ken sounds like he's a member of ICP.
I wanted to add that.
He looks like
this is something I didn't know until just like looking up stuff for this fight, like before we had this call. Violent Ken, I always assumed it was just a Satsui no Hado Ken.
Yeah,
it's actually a psycho power Ken, like brainwashed by M. Bison.
From Bison.
So it wouldn't necessarily be an evil Ryu kind of thing. I don't think. It's still worth discussion.
But the idea is that it's using the power that Ken has in a violent way, which theoretically Ken could just do.
No, it's using psycho power. It's M. Bison controlling Ken using psycho power.
That's him pulling energy from the psycho drive, essentially.
Yeah.
Or whatever is the psycho powers coming from.
He's basically controlled by M. Bison. He's like an M. Bison puppet using M. Bison's psycho power, rather than like evil Ryu, who's just generating the Satsui no Hado from
also
himself.
Chat keeps talking about how Ken has construction worker experience now, so he can just kill him with a forklift.
Rock has never worked a day in his life. You know, he hasn't worked at a Burger King.
He's got soft hands.
No. I disagree.
Brittle hands.
I disagree, and I'll go ahead and prove that. Rock is the hardest working guy that you know in this whole conversation. Rock Howard, when he was a child, 7 years old, his mom was sick. He went to Geese to get some help. Geese is out there running the city, making all kinds of money. They're living in poverty. Rock Howard has to take care of his mom. And so, like, she's sick, deathly ill, and he's taking care of both of them. He's 7 years old. This guy is hard work. She dies. He's all alone. He still has to figure it out. So he goes and he approaches people and says, look, this is my situation. This is what's happening. That's when he and Terry get together after Terry knocks his dad off. You know what I'm saying? So this dude is hard work. He's built of that.
Outside of sweeping dojos, outside of sweeping dojos, he's not a construction worker like Ken.
Bruh, we're talking life and death. We're not talking about sweeping dust. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about
I didn't expect this fight to go construction worker versus janitor, but here we are.
Let's talk about like solid
both jobs.
How strong?
You gotta have some constitution for both jobs.
How fast? How tough are we talking? What are how strong are Ken and Rock? How strong are they?
Ken is very durable. Rock can't even. He doubles over when he has to release more of his power, and it's in his animation. His winning animation is him doubling over, from his power being, released from his hands. Ken, on the other hand, he's super durable, and the beautiful thing about Ken's evolution, the X's and O's of his moves, he's basically a SNK King of Fighters type of a character. He has a dash, which all those characters do. He has a roll like all those characters do. So he can, he's very technical, even whether he's in the Capcom world or in the King of Fighters SNK Fatal Fury world. He can really do it all. But he's definitely more durable than Rock Howard.
So I got a panel to bring up from Ken real quick before we move on from that. We're talking about how powerful. I just want to show off this Ken comic panel.
Please do.
Real quick. There's two real quick because this is wild. So they got all these like zombies coming after him, and Ken decides to just looks like he's doing a Tatsumaki with fire, and then go to the next panel, Brian. He creates just a humongous ring of fire that starts burning all the zombies.
Yeah, he's powerful.
That's probably pretty wild. One of his supers in Third Strike, I think, is he does the multiple kicks as he moves forward, and then there's the fire spin up into the air. It's probably supposed to be that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or that could be his V trigger.
Okay.
Heat rush.
That's okay. All right. Big giant fire circle burning some zombies. That's cool.
I mean,
yeah.
Ken's got fire powers. What does Rock have in comparison?
So Rock has flaming heat. It's like a darkness mixed with fire, mixed with light. He's got this blue energy from his dad. He's got this yellow energy with his Shine Knuckle, which is his own. Everything else is this amazing violet-covered, heat-filled type wind. I dropped in a couple things in the chat for you guys. So this is Rock when he's a child. Terry Bogard is fighting someone named Kula Diamond, one of the most powerful people in the King of Fighters lore, and he gets trapped in her ice. He's basically done for. He can't break out himself. Nobody can get him out except this 7-year-old kid who's pissed off that he's about to die. Breaks him out by punching through this stuff. Look at everybody else's faces. He's not supposed to be able to do this. Right? You know what I mean?
If you see other people's faces referenced, I love it. So, clearly, these powerful people are impressed.
clearly, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I mean, we're talking about like this move right here. This is called the crack counter. This is one of the main things that Rock Howard could use against Ken Masters, bar none. Period. This move right here. Look at what he did to this man's face. It is no longer in the same place. And that's a wrap. The thing about it, I love it. Look, the best part about the crack counter is it's not just used for regular punches or regular kicks. It is also used for special moves like burn knuckles, like Tatsumakis, and also like Shoryukens. You try to do a Shoryuken against that, it's over. There will be blocking, there will be no tick damage, and you will be punished. But guess what? A lot of people don't realize that this regular move can also be used and has been and will continue to be used against super move. If you come in, you waste a whole bar on a super, and you hit this regular move, you've wasted a whole bar, there's no tick damage, you get punished. And if you use the EX version of that, you get launched. So you can get hit by a full super of his own. That should win it right there.
So it's like
that's just 1%. That's 1%, bro.
Is that it, Ken? Is that system it? Though, you know, Ken. If you want to bring in that, Ken can parry. You know.
I mean, he's got parry. I've got my own moves over here from Mark of the Wolves. You know, like it's all good. just defense. You press a different direction, I still get health back. It's the same thing. No problem.
Does Rock know? He was taught by Terry, so I assume he was taught Hakyoku Seiken, right? Like the same martial arts ki style that Terry knows. Because one of the things we talked about in Ken versus Terry, I remember way back when, was that like while Ken's ki attacks, like the Shoryuken or the Hadouken, I can think of it. All of his attacks are ki drawn from within himself. Terry, and I assume Rock, you can correct me if I'm wrong, draws ki from like the earth around him. So hypothetically, in like a stamina battle, Rock or Terry and Rock would have like more ki to pull from because they're not pulling it just from themselves. They're pulling it from the earth. They're pulling it from like the environment. So hypothetically, they'd last longer. Does that make sense? Is that correct or not?
It absolutely makes sense. And Rock Howard did get taught from Rock Howard.
If I'm wrong, please correct me.
Same folks who learned no. That this Hakyoku Seiken style is a style that has gone through all these people: Terry Bogard, Geese Howard, etc. But it's not just Hakyoku Seiken that he's pulling from. He's got the blood of the House of Stroheim as well. You know, he's got his own internal blood from Kane, his uncle, as well. Like he's got all of this stuff flowing through him. But yes, Hakyoku Seiken is the basis. But the thing about Rock is he takes these moves, he masters them, and he also makes them his own. So he does them, and he can, in some ways, do them even better. The guy, if you look at his moves, I mean, and if we're talking about power here, we're talking about, one, untapped potential, but even at his level now, full screen level stuff. If you look at his Raging Storm, even the first version, you can't jump over that. You look at the second and third version, it's huge. We're talking about things that take up the whole screen. When he begins his install, that screen is a bright purple and white. You know, like these are things that he has. Ken Masters, his powers are very local. Granted, he can get in, he can dig in and fight, but he can whiff a lot. You guys think back to Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, what do you see? Shoryuken, and you just kick his little butt when he lands. That's it. Rock Howard, we're talking about full screen moves that is just an explosion of power. No contest.
There you are.
He's back. There we go.
Your rebuttal.
He's back just in time. Sounds like Rock's got a lot going on.
But wait a minute. Okay. Let me rebuttal. It's 8%. No, it's 80%. No,
you're right.
You got what is all this? He may have his bloodline, and he can tap into the Earth's chi or ki, but it's in a very weak frame. He can't even really control all his power. Ken Masters is a legend. Ken has pupils. He had Sean. For a long time, Swats, which his first name is Sean, identified or relate to Sean. So basically, Ken Masters is the real life Sean's sensei. You're going against your own sensei in this battle. You are the physical representation of Sean from Street Fighter 3, and you're jumping ship just to rep your boy Rock, and it's wrong.
But sounds good. Sounds good. That's real cute. That's real cute. But if you're gonna take it there, if you're gonna take it there, let's go ahead and take it there. So Ken Masters' pupil is Sean. He can't even throw a fireball until he's a super. I mean, let's get real about this. So if you look in Ken, you got Ken Masters. How good of a teacher is he? How good is he? You know what I mean? Then you look at Terry Bogard, and we see how good Terry is at being a teacher, because you look at this kid Rock, and he's as good, if not better than Terry. What I mean is he's taken on Terry's moves, he can do them. He's taken on Geese's moves, he can do them. He's a prodigy. He's learning. He's the best student out there. Shingo, got nothing for him. Sean, got nothing for him. And we're talking about other people. Ken's dope, sure. But Rock has taken it to the level of his master. We can't say the same thing about Ken's student. Not even close.
Ken's teaching was so bad that he dropped Sean to bottom tier in Third Strike from top tier.
What happened? The dude is just going backwards, man.
Well, okay, and it's still the responsibility of the pupil to take in the lessons, So it's not Ken's fault. Sean wanted to be a mixed martial artist with his grab and ground and pound moves from Third Strike. He just wanted to take another path in his martial arts. So
he also wanted to work a basketball into combat, right? He was
a basketball player. That's his real
I'm a calendar man in the chat notes that both Rock and Sean play basketball. So which of them would win in a basketball duel?
Yeah, there you go.
One-on-one. Who wins?
Oh yeah, we'll put Rock Howard's victory on that after this one.
Yeah. So real quick, you were mentioning about the big screen wide attack that takes people out. I'm backing up Sparks a little bit here because I got some receipts on Ken surviving something very similar. So Brian, if you want to pull up those real quick. So we all know Gil, right, from Street Fighter 3. Gil, incredibly powerful, right? So here you see all of the Street Fighters basically trying to restrain Gil. And so Gil uses his Heaven's Light, which you can see at the very, very bottom there, which is a huge screen wide, and it does so much damage. It's pretty much nearly an insta-kill. Next panel. Ken goes flying back and busts up against, I think it looks like Evil Ryu, potentially, or they're sharing a panel. But then he just is fine. He just tanks it. And then gets up right back up and goes running in to fight some more.
That's true. Who's the strongest person Rock has fought? Who's the strongest person Rock has fought? Because he hasn't had a lot of appearances. Who is Rock shown his medal against?
Here, real quick, start thinking about that. Think about the strongest characters that Ken and Rock have fought. And let's talk about that when we come back in just a bit, because I do want to take a brief moment to talk about our sponsor for this week's episode, Dave. Yes, Dave is sponsoring this episode. So, level with me. We've all been in a situation at some point in our lives when we were a little tight on cash. Maybe you could only afford to put a few gallons of gas in your tank, or you got another save the date and are wondering how you're going to afford a gift. That's where Dave can help. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. That's more money to fill your tank, buy a wedding gift, or catch up on those bills. You can finally tackle those expenses that have been stressing you out without any hangups. There's no interest and no credit check needed. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to get the financial relief that they need with extra cash. So, if you're in a pinch and need some extra help, let's be honest, who doesn't? Download Dave and think of it as a helping hand from future you. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. Terms and conditions go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. And banking provided by Evolve, member FDIC. Thank you, Dave, for the sponsorship. And let's go ahead and jump into what's going on. All right, we're going to get to the final part of our Rock versus Ken debate in just a minute. But to just give us a little break, let's go ahead and check out a sneak peek for the upcoming episode of Trunks versus Silver. Go ahead and play that. Driven from
Stop! You're under arrest for unsanctioned time travel! Seriously? This is what I do!
All right. Man, I'm excited for this one.
Is the last Dragon Ball versus Sonic fight we had Vegeta versus Shadow?
Like,
I think
way
so.
back in the day.
Way back.
Like OG season 1. Maybe.
Exciting.
I don't know. I think so, yeah.
I think so.
So, you know, that one didn't really count. But I mean, it's fun that you mentioned that. That was the first time we got Team 4-Star peeps to voice act for us. And this one, of course, we had to go to Kaiser Neko for the voice of Trunks. I've seen a few people asking about that in comments and whatnot. Yes, Scott is the voice of Trunks, as he should be, in our death battle. So very excited to have him playing that role that he's so good at, and it's going to be. I'm very excited for you guys to see this episode. We have I know some people have talked about how we have kind of talked a little bit of shit about this episode or this matchup in the past, because like Trunks versus Silver, like really, like Trunks has got this. Like it's no question, and I agree, which is why this episode is specifically the Dragon Ball Heroes / Xenoverse version of Trunks versus the Archie Sonic version of Silver, which is a way more complicated matchup and way closer. Like,
why would we take the easy answer when we could do a lot more work?
Man, we could have just done normal Trunks versus Silver, and we'd be like, Trunks has got this, no problem.
Just like,
but we actually had to like
an actual
analyze Archie Silver. Ugh.
And it's one that I think a lot of people have seen, you know, like there are tons of Trunks versus Silver animations. So like I was excited to do this one, because it was like a whole different debate with completely different like things to talk about. And I think it turned out really interesting.
Yeah. And also I actually really like the Archie version of Silver. Like a lot more than I
think most
Silver's
people
from Sonic 06.
Yeah,
and I just have I have a grudge with Sonic 06. Like,
really? Do you? For what reason?
Gee, I wonder why.
It's a masterpiece,
but
Ben.
As somebody who, you know, Sonic was the mascot of my childhood, I guess you could say, along with the Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. Sonic 06 definitely marked an end of an era, right? And Silver to me is like the face of that. I know a lot of people put what's her face, Princess Elise, whatever her name is, as that like face, but to me, it's Silver, because I just thought it was like, oh, they just
infinite grabs
doing Shadow again. Also the infinite grab boss fight, which did happen to me the first time I played it. I was like, what is this? What the heck is happening?
It's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah. But Archie Silver is a sweet, dumb little boy who doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's trying his best. Gosh dang it! And it's fun. So Trunks versus Silver will be coming out this upcoming weekend. That is October 2nd for first members on Rooster Teeth, and October 3rd on the YouTube channel. So please stick around for that. It's going to be exciting.
I'll just say this. I'm writing and directing the episode that comes after that one. And that one, just to get you excited, is the one I am the most excited for this entire year. And Ben and Chad both know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Dude, we're doing that one already? We're already there? Oh my God, get ready.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
No spoilers for what it is.
I won't say anything else.
It may be one of the ones that people expect based on the teasers we've released, but maybe it isn't. We'll see. All right. I hope you guys enjoy Trunks vs. Silver when it comes out. I'm very excited to show it to you guys, but right now let's get back into the community death battle. Now, we've had a few minutes to think about who the strongest people Rock and Ken have fought.
Yeah.
Was that a correct sentence? Whatever. Sure, we got it. So who have they fought that's really strong?
Yeah.
With Gil for Ken, I mean, which is God tier. I don't know.
Did he really fight him though?
Feels like God of Fire and Ice, right?
You fought him.
Did he really fight him though? Ken didn't win the tournament.
You fought him.
Who won the tournament? Who won the
in that comic,
did he?
In that segment on the show, he's definitely fighting Gil, but not one-on-one.
Right,
but he did survive one of Gil's strongest moves, so you got to give him that at least.
True, it's true.
I mean, you survive it in the game. You survive it in the game. That's no cap.
Barely.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You can take the mess out of that.
Best person Rock has fought is his uncle. His uncle.
Oh, see, do you know who his uncle is? Uncle Kane. Uncle Kane is like the head of Southtown, the head of the underground in Southtown. You've felt the wrath of his flames before, but he's also
did he take over
King
for
Lion.
Geese after Geese died? Was that it?
He filled in that spot. He wanted to basically he did this whole apocalypse thing, survival of the fittest. He felt like people were living too much extravagant lives and nobody was struggling because he also was raised in poverty. It's like Rock. So I mean he's a nasty dude. But Rock goes against heavy hitters. Rock has gone against Terry. Rock has gone against him. Rock has gone against Albamera. Rock has gone against King Lion, who, as a matter of fact, took down somebody who is at least as strong as Ken. I mean, I know you guys know who Marco Rodriguez is, right? Like, that dude is a monster. Like, confirmed the most durable guy in Mark of the Wolves. Really great guy to play as or whatnot. But Rock Howard, that guy took him down, no problem. And Rock stepped in to fight his tail. And this dude is ridiculous. I mean, you can take a quick look at what happened to Marco. This is the same thing that would probably happen to Ken Master.
Probably not.
Just flat denial.
I am hearing a lot of probably.
Dropping all this evidence, and then
that is not Marco. That is not Marco, but that is
that's Marco.
That's
Marco, and he gone. He gone. We know what he's capable of, man.
Ken
but
is a
Rock Howard has taken. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Ken is a world. Listen, brother, friend, compadre.
Yes, my man.
Ken is a world warrior. Everybody that Rock faces is in or connected to Southtown. He is a local legend fighting local people. Ken is a world warrior that fights god tier level people. You cannot deny that.
Bro, Ken did fight Bison alongside Ryu. They double teamed
alongside, right? So if we're talking about alongside, sure. Then let's bring in King of Fighters 15. Let's talk about real god tier people. You know, like you got the end of the character in character on that game. Ridiculous. So I mean, we can talk about god tier all you want. Terry Bogard has taken out a god by himself. So we're talking about people who ace gods by themselves. Like I'm not even concerned about the whole team thing. You can team up with Ryu all you want and ride piggyback all you like or whatever. But this next picture is pretty much what would happen to Ken too. I mean, check that one out. This is another guy. This was the former King of Fighters right here. He's gone. He was the former King of Fighters. He's got all this
actually
firepower. Rock Howard wasn't even into this fight. He was literally saving somebody who was falling off a building. Anytime him and Billy came into contact, Rock Howard had the upper hand easily. I mean, it's clockwork.
Well, okay. If we compare Ken to Ryu,
tanked a punch to his nuts from his son, as we all know.
that's pretty hardcore. Like, you got to be tough for that. But if you compare Ken to Ryu, I mean, he gave it to him. Like, it's his son. Like, let him have it. But if we compare Ken to Ryu, like, obviously Ryu is one of the strongest characters in the series. Ken trained alongside him. They can spar. Is Ken a match for Ryu, or is Ryu beyond Ken?
No, Ken is like, it's like 1A and 1B. Honestly,
they're pretty even. At least with like base Ryu. Like when you get,
it depends on the piece of media, because you've seen a lot of times where like they'll like fight each other to a standstill, or also like there's a comic where like Ryu gets like bloodlusted,
Sparks,
and it's
like what is he going to bring into the battle? Like that like how can we compare Ryu into this battle and in a way that's not just putting Ryu against Rock.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, so much. I mean, like I said, he's not Ken isn't as flashy as Rock, but he has a lot of style, a lot of flair. His Ken's kicks, the versatility of his kicks, and from low to high, it varies. He has more of an arsenal with kick moves than Ryu does. And so, and also, Ryu doesn't have a role, unless he's fighting, in the SNK King of Fighters, cross. But Ken has a role. He has a dash. He can be, mid screen and then right in your face, in a second. So he has a lot more, in my opinion, more versatility than Ryu, compared to Ryu. And I want to say something. I want to rebuttal the violent Ken thing. Ken actually showed an ability to tap into the Dark Hado in Street Fighter Alpha, the movie, when he was fighting Dr. Sandler. He did a Shinryuken, and in the midst of that, he tapped into the Dark Hado, but he stopped himself from going full murderous rage. So that is my evidence. Ken can tap into the Dark Hado, not just the violent Ken, the psycho power one. So he is more powerful than Rock, and he wins this battle.
There we go.
All right. So if we're gonna talk move for move, let's go ahead and go there. So first off, like Ken had to struggle to get to this place to find this Dark Hado. Sure, Rock Howard at any point can go ahead and do his install and power up. Let's talk about his install, but I'll get there. We're going to go ahead and go move for move. Hard Edge versus Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku. Let's go ahead. I went and did the whole name for you guys. Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku, that move has... Ken needs to practice. That move has so many weaknesses. 80% of the move, the dude is turned around. You do Hard Edge versus Tatsu all day. You're getting smashed. Period. That is not a win. Double Reppuken versus Hadoken. We know that Ken Masters can barely throw a fireball. He throws an okay fireball. Rock Howard's fireball is dope. We'll go ahead and start with King of Fighters.
How is Ken's fireball an okay
I don't know about barely.
Yeah.
No. It's literally a standard fireball. It's a standard fireball. There's nothing special about it, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
So let's get into how special Rock Howard's fireball is. You go double Reppuken versus Ken. I'm going to take it to King of Fighters, the least powerful version. So it's been toned down, right, to make it fair for everybody else.
Are you looking at double Reppuken?
It's an automatic counter, right? So the first animation, boom, goes through the fireball. Second animation takes the person out. All right. So then we'll go ahead and take it to his first entry, which is Mark of the Wolves. He could do the double Reppuken anytime he wanted to. First animation takes it out. Second animation is a counter, and the person gets punished. We'll go ahead and take this down to Maximum Impact. All right. It is probably my least favorite King of Fighters game. I love you, King of Fighters. But anyhow, Maximum Impact, Rock Howard's fireball in that first animation, second animation, or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's eating up standard fireballs. Rock Howard's fireball is more powerful than Ken Masters' fireball. There's no competition. We can talk about, you tried to bring up the whole thing about, Ken being versatile with his kicks. Rock is versatile, period. He can fight any way that he wants to. If you're fighting with him in King of Fighters, you can use him first, second, or last. It doesn't matter. He has the answer. He can build up meter, but he's also powerful without the meter. He can come in and do massive damage, period. So we'll talk about it. Rage run type shift. You talk about how fast Ken is. He's not even half as fast as Rock is. Rock just straight up blurs out, gets behind people, and then he does a command throw. Does Ken have a command throw? No, he does not. Can you get out of Rock Howard's command throw? No, you cannot get out of it. And guess what? You are at complete vulnerability to a regular move or a super move. It could be level 3. It could be level whatever. He's got the counters. He's got his top attack. Everything he's made. If he does his rage run, you throw a fireball, he can jump over it, clock you right in the head. His top attack from King of Fighters 15. Again, his crack counter, if he counters anything, he can launch you up into the air and then restart his combos from the beginning. Now let's get into his Shine Knuckle.
Jeez.
Shine Knuckle. It's not even his.
What would happen if they counter each other, though? What would happen if they start countering each other?
Well, check this out. Listen. If we're still talking about Ken Masters trying to throw moves, Ken is a close kind of guy. If he tries to throw anything out, Rock Howard waits for these opportunities. Shine Knuckle is a full screen move, but guess what? It can phase through any projectile that's thrown to him or thrown at him, whether it's a regular projectile or a super projectile. Once he makes contact, you have the full, you have the full bar of that super. He's not wasting energy, like swinging away while he's making his way toward the character. It's a full punch. He connects after he phases through whatever, and then you get the full power of the super. It's not this Shoryu Reppa where you only hit 2 moves out of the 18. Nothing like that. It is the full amount. This dude
I mean, if you get it right, though, you hit a lot of moves, though.
Yeah, if you get it right? Sure, you can.
Presumably,
he's already dead.
Hey guys,
presumably, we're not talking about like Joe Schmo behind the stick. We're talking like Ken Masters would be perfect at playing Ken Masters, right?
Yeah.
Ken is.
You're
not going to throw out a random Shoryuken.
Yeah, exactly. Where
Ken is Evo moment 37ing all over the place.
Right. And that Shining Knuckle, it goes full stream. But if super move, Shining Knuckle versus a Shinryuken, Shinryuken eats it up. Like Rock, he hits hard for a 16, 17-year-old, 30-year-old kid, but he cannot match the raw power from Ken.
Absolutely he can.
Absolutely he cannot.
Absolutely he can. Ken sputters out by comparison. If you're talking about raw power, if you're talking about rage, that is a conversation for Rock. It's literally built into his moveset, rage run, etc. He's not weak. The thing about it is he's too strong. His power leaks out of him. He is ridiculous, man. Like, this dude is leaking power. Ken Masters, he's good, but he's not on the level.
But Sparks, you were talking about how like Ken has. Are you saying that Ken has like a similar or greater level of raw power that he can control better?
Yeah, he can control. Yeah, because Ken has the technique along with the raw power. And so it's comparing a child prodigy. We'll give him that, a child prodigy or someone that has battled more different types of people more God tier level people, the experience that Ken has as a fighter, and he loves the battle. It's just, there's no comparing, Rock, canon wise, Rock is in one game. You're comparing somebody that's, 3 going on 4 decades now, has battled the best from, since Street Fighter 1, World Warrior. And so, yeah, it's no comparing the technique and the experience.
Let's talk about it.
Rock has more
Let's
flash.
talk about it. Let's talk about it. Rock.
Can I interject for just a second?
Go ahead.
I just found this feat for Ken, and I just want to discuss it. Brian, could you bring up the image I just posted? How are you going to beat that? What are you going to do when that approaches you? What the fuck are you supposed to do?
You put him in the frying pan, dude. You made some chicken wings, homie. Rock Howard has the answer, bro. Raging Storm,
that's psychological damage.
Deep fried 10. That's it. It's over. It's over. But I mean,
that is blasphemous.
Look, you got.
All right. Let's we can keep talking about it, but let's go ahead and bring up the poll in the chat.
We're running out of time.
Going. Yeah.
Dude,
keep
Squats
going.
didn't miss a beat on that.
Oh my god.
Do we have community answers or no?
Sure. Probably. Let's go ahead and bring up. Typically, we get some answers from you guys leading up to this. So here's the first one for Ken.
0BW. Ken has fought way higher level people than Rock, especially if we're talking just Fatal Fury Rock and not King of Fighters Rock. Ken fought and survived against Final Bison from Alpha 3. He did have some help from Sakura, but that wasn't much. No one in Fatal Fury is remotely close to Final Bison levels, and even then, Ken's beaten Ryu before. Rock ain't beaten Ryu, lol. So gauging Ken close to that, he should easily be able to beat Rock.
Thank you, Zero Beat.
Rock ain't beating Ryu, lol.
Beg to differ.
Okay.
I mean, there you go. But we do have a community answer for Rock as well. So let's go ahead and bring that up.
Let's go.
This one comes from T-Rex Rising. Yeah. Rock Howard should win, assuming you scale him to Orochi Yashiro, who performed a feat worth 5.8 gigatons of TNT. That's almost 6 times more powerful than the energy M. Bison stole from Ryu. Very interesting. These are good arguments. Which at best gets up to 1 gigaton of TNT. Ken doesn't scale to E Honda as far as I'm concerned. And combine that with Takuma reacting to a satellite beam moving at least 2% the speed of light, and Rock Howard will roll Ken's world.
Didn't we have a satellite beam feat for
Honda? Definitely scales to fucking background character ass E Honda, but
wow, okay.
Look, I mean, Honda definitely
has his moments.
Yeah. look,
all right. So we're getting close to the end here, and it's about time to get some votes in. So real quick, do you guys have anything you'd like to say to kind of wrap up your arguments?
Go ahead, Swats.
Absolutely. Rock Howard is the full package, right? He is the one who has all the answers. We call move for move. Rock Howard has better moves. They will take out, and he provides either people using him or just him being himself. He's got the answer for anything that Ken could throw out, and not just Ken, lots of other people. This dude is a phenomenon. He's amazing, and he's ridiculous. Like you can't just have a character. Terry Bogard doesn't just have nightmares about just anybody. Terry Bogard had nightmares about this kid. You know what I'm saying? And that was actually canon. So you can throw that up if you like, but
thanks for the training.
Yes, the kid.
All these images are also of Rock, monster. Like from behind Rock, just like dunking on some guy.
That's Terry.
That's right. Yo, hey, when it comes to the install, I just want to add again that he can double up his moves. He can do a Raging Storm into another Raging Storm, etc. The guy has no problem doing these moves. He has no problem handling Ken. This is Rock's victory.
All right. But Sparks.
Yeah, last thing I say, I want to say that, Rock Howard has a cult following, and I think my boy Swats represented him well in this debate. So, kudos to that. But yeah, too much experience, too much technique. Can can tap into the dark Hado, just like Ryu. Doesn't need it or has to, but he has that in his reserves if needed. You're just dealing with somebody with more experience, more mastery, has flashiness himself, but has a mastery over his skills. He's tried and true. He's battle tested. He wins. He just, Rock just doesn't have he has the flashiness for him. It'll be a lot of purple flare in the air, but outside of that, Ken bolos through it. Ken wins.
All right. Okay. All right. Now I will say, there was one thing that I'm a little sad we didn't dive into more. Ken's apparent forklift certification. The chat keeps bringing up. Seems like it's a lot more important than I give it credit for. So, thanks for that, chat. So keep that in mind as you're voting. All right, so let's go ahead and get this vote started. We will start with not the community poll chat, but the community tab chat. So let's go ahead and bring that up from before the show started.
Whoa!
Ken Masters
starts
off, with 87% of the vote. Wow. Okay.
That's
so we're gonna be real with y'all. That's usually a popularity contest. So
yeah. This is before things get going, right? Okay. So Ken starts with one vote, but now we're gonna jump into our votes, and then we will end with the community poll. Okay. So Liam, who are you voting for? Who convinced you?
I think I'm gonna go with Rock. I think the minute details on the moves convinced me.
All right, Chad.
All right, no secret, I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, and I was also trying to help out with some evidence here. But like, I'm gonna just going by the debate alone that happened here today. I think Swats had a better argument, so I'm gonna go with Rock.
Let's go. Let's
go.
Sorry.
Okay, so we got two for Rock.
Sorry.
We got two for Rock and one for Ken. You know what? I'm gonna. People are gonna be mad at me for this. I'm just gonna vote for Ken. I vote for Ken. All right. I'm putting my vote in for Ken.
Stressed now.
I think he's got the power for it, and also I'm very curious to see what you guys vote in the chat. We got a tiebreaker here. All right. So we got two for both. Two for Ken. Two for Rock. This all comes down to the poll in the chat. Let's bring that up and see who wins. Ken Masters with 58% of the vote. Rock with 41%. Wow. Okay, much closer than the community poll from earlier. Wow.
Guys, I would like to thank
he would like to thank Plot Armor.
After how many years? Truly. How many years have you guys been arguing this? You said like 20-something years.
Yeah, 1999, bro.
and finally got to realize it in Capcom versus SNK 2.
Man, you feeling okay from those battles, bro?
Yeah, those victorious battles. Yeah, I did.
Oh no.
I was gonna ask, does this settle it? Doesn't sound like it.
No.
Absolutely. we tried. If they ever do another Capcom versus SNK and those two are in it, you better believe we're going right to town.
Right. All right. Oh, well, thank you guys so much, and thank you guys for watching as well and joining in that vote. Like, what a fun. That was a lot of fun. So real quick before we sign off, can you guys let everybody watching know where they can find you and where they can find what you guys do?
Go ahead, Swats.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. So you can find my stuff at www.swats.rocks. All my other information up there. I'm active on Instagram. Find me on Spotify. Got a lot of great new songs out. Check out my latest one, Anxiety. Pretty dope. And then, of course, all the stuff that we're doing with Death Battle. A lot of stuff for you guys to check out. So, again, Facebook, Instagram, Swats_GBX, www.swats.rocks. Again, I'm Sparks.
Yeah, man. Everywhere at Omega Sparks, OMEGASPARX. One of those rappers that misspell their names. But yeah, just everywhere. just everywhere, man. Thank you for everybody that's enjoying the music. Shout out to Death Battle. It's awesome every time I get to connect with this wonderful, beautiful community and staff.
Awesome. Yeah, and Fallen Gods is the track from Black Adam Apocalypse that these guys had a huge part in alongside Brandon Yates, who's also been making music with us for years. These guys are phenomenal. God, I cannot believe sometimes that we manage to like get in with you guys and Brandon and Aaron. Like, all you guys are so freaking good at what you do. It's crazy. But thank you so much for joining us. This has been a phenomenal episode. Again, Trunks versus Silver's coming out this upcoming weekend. Check it out Sunday for first, Monday on YouTube. And if you're not in a member, a champion in our community Discord, be sure to check that out as well, because you'll also be able to watch our community cast, which we do now as well. That comes out every Friday, I think. Yep. Right? Yes. So. Fridays. We do a lot of stuff, okay? Like, all of us do a lot of stuff.
You're killing this, though. I was going to jump in and add that. You're on top of everything today, man.
Cool. Yeah, sure. I've been hosting this show for almost 300 episodes, and I finally figured out what we do. All right.
Just because we had guests on.
Yes, I'm prepared. All right. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Be awesome. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Stop! You're under arrest for unsanctioned time travel! Seriously? This is what I do! Rasengan!